Hey everybody, my name's Craig. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minutes a Day. Today is December 10th. As you can tell, let me go ahead and start the timer, and I'll talk about this. 5 minutes starts now. So as you can tell, I'm not in my normal habitat. I'm actually at my mom's house in the Dallas area. Came down here to spend a week with her before Christmas, because I won't be able to be down here on Christmas because of work. So I won't get to see her, so I thought I'd come down and see her. And there you go. I haven't seen her in a while, if you don't count Thanksgiving. So yeah, I had this amazing thing. I think I was walking through Walmart today, and I had this amazing realization of something I wanted to talk about, and actually I can't remember it. So that's awkward. And that's like 50 seconds. So here's some of the things that I want to talk about in here, and kind of go from there in the future. And so I'll share some of that stuff. I think one of them I want to do is the kind of social epistemologies, pre-modern, modernism, postmodernism, metamodernism. I want to talk about those and kind of give a quick rundown, just kind of quick and dirty. Here's what they are. Here's why they all have their good parts and their bad parts, and what I think is where we should go from here as humanity. The thing I wanted to talk about, and hopefully I'll remember this for tomorrow, is why the golden rule is good, and different ways to think about it, and how most every culture has some version of it, some interpretation of it, some rendering, I think is the word I was going to use, rendering of it, but some are better than others, because some, and I'll get into this more next video probably, how some of them are easier to interpret as selfish than others. And the entire point is kind of a lack of selfishness. What else do I want to talk about? I'll probably do some more communication stuff, because I love that stuff. I'll probably do some more stuff on my ridiculous clothing choices and how I'm wearing the same new hoodie, but it's the exact same colors as another shirt I have that they're not even the same manufacturer, so that's fun. I may wade into some of the online malaise of culturally relevant speakers and that whole thing. I don't want to, because at one point I want to get into that, because I think there's some really good things that need to be said from people, especially a person like myself who fits in a lot of those demographics. That's one of the weird parts about me, is like the Jordan Peterson movement, and kind of the classic liberal mess. Like, I'm their demographic. Some kind of middle-aged or younger white guy who is single. Like, I am would be the perfect poster boy for like the incel movement, because I'm 38-ish, single, never married, no kids, white. I'm like the whitest, and I feel the tension in a lot of their arguments. I feel it pulling at me. I feel the kind of emotional and some bad logic, but it's still logic. That's one of the funny parts about logic, is that it may be bad, and this is why the whole like facts versus feeling thing is so just awful, because like, I know the arguments are bad, and that's why I'm able to push back on them, but I feel them. I feel the persuasiveness of it. That doesn't mean that it's right. That doesn't mean that it's good. That doesn't mean a lot of things. But because it's aimed at my demographic, it's aimed at me as like I'm at the center of all those things. Like I'm even like 5'10", 180, 185, which puts me like right in the middle of normal. I was just 5 minutes out, by the way. So like I'm right in the middle of what they're aiming for, demographic wise, argument wise, and so I feel the tension of those arguments. But I have the social science background, the philosophy background. My mom cooked lasagna and pink stuff because I'm here, and it was glorious. But I know why all those arguments are bad. But yet I still feel their persuasiveness, and that puts me at an interesting intersection of I feel the persuasiveness of their arguments. I know why they're bad. I'm trying to be an ally for marginalized groups. I am definitely an intersectional feminist. And I know why I am. And I've actually, coming up through counseling, you learn a lot about all those theories and where they come from and why. And it puts an interesting perspective on a lot of them, because a lot of those, they aren't just theoretical ideas. They're actually ideas aimed at helping people and puts them in the context of humanity. And I think that's where a lot of philosophy goes wrong, is because it doesn't, especially epistemology, because epistemology is the study of truth and how we know things. And I think a lot of people don't put the we in all that. They just put it out there as some like ephemeral yet real thing. And it's not a thing. It's inside our heads. It's something we think about. And so when you try to make that real, you take the humanity out of it, and when you take the humanity out of it, it goes wonky. So I will go back and watch this train of consciousness mess and pick out those few things that I wanted to talk about, remind myself of them, and you'll see those in the pipeline soon. So y'all have a great day, great week. Don't have a case of the Mondays. And I will talk to you later. Bye. See you.